He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
We are back and on the air, and we have a very special guest on Angry Mortgage this day. Samantha Power, Mortgages by Samantha Power, mortgage broker extraordinaire. Now, we're gonna talk about a few other things first, but what I'm gonna get to about towards the middle of the program is Samantha Power being really factually, because you're watching the show right now. Everybody's watching the show right now,
Yep.
right? Everybody sees the podcast, and there's other platforms that I'm on. So I'm on TikTok and X and Instagram and LinkedIn and
More than
Jesus
me.
Christ, so many platforms. Because I'm on these platforms, I watch what other people do in my industry on these platforms, and this is an honest statement. There's nobody as good at TikTok as Samantha Power in the mortgage business. Like,
That's a big compliment coming from Ron Butler.
No,
Yes, it is.
This is true. Because I'm like, let's just cut to the chase. If you were shit, you wouldn't be here. Okay, that's the truth, right? Like that is. We just tell the truth here. Okay, so if you were shit, you wouldn't be here. Absolutely the best. We'll eventually talk about why the best. Okay, and how I know it's the best, because Samantha does things on TikTok successfully that I couldn't even dream of doing. That's the truth. Like I require a certain amount of like cursing and bullshit to be highly successful on TikTok. Okay, but Samantha does not. I don't think you've ever used a swear word on TikTok.
Oh, yes, I have. I'm just selective. But yeah.
And you dose it.
I fine tune it more on my lives. I'll drop the F-bombs.
All right, good. I'm glad.
I will.
Makes me happy.
It is. I've just, I back off sometimes, but
no,
I was raised by a truck driver. I've got a mouth.
Warms my heart. Just warms my heart. Absolutely. And Samantha's also a very highly experienced, very skilled, and a very successful mortgage broker. It's not just TikTok. And everybody should know about this in Canada. A lot of people don't know this in Canada. We don't make any money off TikTok. Not in Canada.
Not a
cent. You don't make a fucking penny on TikTok.
No.
Okay, not a cent. So we do it for the folks. I mean, I like to think. I mean, sure, we do derive. You and I derive business from social media.
Yes, we do.
Don't pretend we don't.
But I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yes, you do. It's obvious. Okay.
Yeah, we've both kind of created our own little community, and I enjoy it.
And listen, I know there's going to be some comments about, oh, you just do it for the business. I mean, we all get the comments. Okay, there's going to be some comments on this show. It's just about doing more mortgages. Yeah. I'm gonna let you guys, everybody out there, and some of yours. We have a lot of smart viewers. Everybody has smart viewers. Yep. Okay. And, we're actually doing our very best to tell the truth all the time, and also illustrating some technical things in the mortgage business that will save you money.
Yep.
Right. And we'll put you on the right path. And that's, if you do it a lot, you're kind of doing it for itself.
Yeah.
You're not just doing it for the leads.
And I think the two of us, education comes into, if you look into our education system, Canadians aren't educated on this kind of stuff.
No.
Right?
No. All this financial literacy stuff is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've said this on a few other shows, but it's great that you bring it up because I like to emphasize it. You could teach financial literacy in high school till you pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay. Kids don't use it in their normal lives every day. Okay. So by the time they are actually confronted with it, they ain't gonna remember.
No.
Okay. That's the truth.
No.
They just aren't. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can do a lot of things. You could really start to get your kids interested in having their own bank account,
Right.
having their own budgeting, like encourage them to get some kind of part-time work so they can see where the money goes. You could do a lot of positive things. You can.
You're right. At that age, high school level, they're not retaining that type of information because they don't care about it yet.
Doesn't impact them.
It doesn't care. Mind you, I can say that I think it should be taught a little bit more than what it is, even just putting it into their ear a bit. I mean, heck, I destroyed my credit at 18. I had no idea what credit was or how to build it or what to do with it.
You're not alone in this.
Right?
Endeavor.
Now,
Yeah,
it was a big learning experience for me. And a part of me thinks that, as a young adult, destroying your credit is a life lesson. I learned from it. I much rather would have not wanted to go through it.
Hell yeah.
But
Hell yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
If I had been taught something, maybe near the end of my high school, beginning of my college career, maybe I would have thought different. Who knows? But I mean, it was a life experience.
Honest to God, I think someday I'm going to end up doing a series of different shows and all kinds of different platforms on the idea that making credit as incredibly available as we make it in Canada,
Yep.
in so many ways too. Like
Mhm.
one of the things that Samantha and I are going to talk about later on is that we, as an industry and as a lending structure in Canada for mortgages, we have a way to, you can stretch out your mortgage life way past when you should have sold the home.
Oh, yeah.
And made some money.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And, well, I know people saying, what the fuck did he say? What does he mean? I'm going to get to what I mean later. But when you talk about, if you give an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old a credit card with a $10,000 limit, and then they get another one because they had the first one, then they get another one, and they say, "Oh fuck, it's easy to get these credit cards. Let me get some more." And like I'm firmly gonna say this: when I was 18, I was a fucking lunatic. Okay, like I mean, I'm rich.
Yeah.
I'm credit card rich.
I was in Dominican a month later when I got my first credit card. It was within 24 hours, booked vacations, let's go. The bill came in and I was like, oh shit, I don't have a job. How am I paying for this?
What are we gonna do now?
Yeah.
This. We're coming back to it, but I'm gonna just say it really quickly. I think in a rational world, and I know people are gonna say, when I say this, well, you're promoting like a Christian concept. Actually, no. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a rabid atheist. But anyway, the bottom line is the 11th commandment should have been, thou shalt not tempt. Because that's what we do. You have $20,000 worth of free credit to an 18-year-old. You are tempting those people.
You're still tempting people in their 40s with $20,000 on a credit card.
How about buy a $100,000 truck with no money down? And 10 years to pay.
We don't got to worry about those interest rates because nobody looks at those on vehicles.
No.
But oh my God, 5% on a mortgage? The world is ending.
And how about on those vehicles? How about on the leases, the buybacks through the roof?
Yeah.
So in the end, and by the way, in the end, when you finally have to trade the vehicle in, we're going to have to finance what's left on the old loan.
Oh my God.
So we're financing a dead car and putting it into a new loan, and you're going to pay that for your life, okay?
At 7.99%.
So it's the availability.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
It's the availability. Anyway, let's talk about the big things. Go back to what happened last week. We got the fallout from the Bank of Canada announcement. So variable rates are now starting to look like fixed rates, right?
You're right in competition with fixed now, yeah.
So that, by the way, I think you found the same thing. Wasn't that all because we've been telling people to take variable for 5 months.
Yep.
Maybe 6 months. We've been saying you take variable. Why should I take variable? Well, you should take variable because we factually know it's coming down.
Yep.
No, you can't really be sure. Okay. I mean, looks like it turned out that way, right?
Oh, yeah.
It did.
My email also says different when the clients that fought me on that and took fixed are now saying, hey, should I be breaking my fixed rate mortgage and taking a variable?
Dude, you just got it 5 months ago, like when I told you not to. Okay. We got all that. So, but isn't it interesting that now that it's close to the same rate, some of that opposition is starting to disappear?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's fading.
Yep.
And Samantha, you're a 10-year person in this. So you recall when all we sold was variable.
Yes. Yeah.
That was it. And why?
It's the way to go. History shows
history.
Majority of the time outweighs your fixed. There's a few times throughout, look at last 30 years, fixed outweighed variable for a very short term. We just saw that.
And it was hard.
Canadians struggled, and I mean, it was tough. We are on the down world, like we're going down now. Rates are coming down. Variable is going to outweigh fixed very, very shortly.
So to save everybody the 300 comments about, no, you're wrong. Yeah. It's all going to go back up again. You'll see at the end of the year, it'll be like 6% again.
My favorite was, rates are going to hit 18%. Yeah. Rates, you wait. You weren't around. Rates are going to hit 18%. Yeah, okay. They're not even going to hit 10%.
Dude, when rates hit 18%, you bought a house for $99,000 and a sack of potatoes. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
you wrote on a piece of paper how much money you made.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was a little different world back then. Okay. Like your boss said, yeah, he's a good guy and you got a mortgage. Okay. So come on, different world today.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to see particularly when that point happens sometime, whether it's, I don't know, April, May, when variable will be less than fixed.
Yep.
And you and I know the world will change. Then
everybody
who said, no, I don't feel right about variable will suddenly say, yeah, variable.
And the amount of people who called people stupid for having a variable rate mortgage.
Yeah, they'll
like, you're stupid. Why would you take that? You're dumb. Fixed is the way to go.
And now those people have a 5.69 rate for 5 years. Which they took a year and a half ago, which, by the way, was fine. I mean,
yes,
people
100%.
had to do what they had to do. I get it, okay? But because I watched Samantha's stuff, and she's been saying exactly this for the same 5 or 6 months that I've been saying it, that they're telling you it's coming down. You can't believe them. No. When they say this, you can believe them.
Yeah.
Okay, All right, so that's the follow. So the question I get, I think you get the same thing sometimes. The question we're getting is, do you think this will cause house prices to take off?
I think we're going to see a busy market in the spring of 2025. Yes, I do.
Busier in sales, but higher in prices.
I think that's going to be area dependent.
Excellent. Yeah, 100% it is.
Yeah.
100%.
Do I think condo market's going to, flip around and start exploding? No, I don't.
No, I think they're fucked.
I think they're fucked.
We got to, by the way, Samantha will say the same thing. Like when you say something like condos are fucked, you will get some replies.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you'll get some replies about, well, I love my condo and I don't.
And that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. There is condo life out there for people, but I think condos have kind of come and gone.
Well, the math is totally fucked.
Yeah. I think condo market is not doing so strong. Yeah. But when it comes to house prices, I do think that in certain areas, things are going to pick up. They're going to get busier, and you're going to see increases in pricing.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a huge increase in price. And I think, as you said, in some areas you won't.
Right.
Okay. Because you and I all know about all the people who bought in, like who way overpaid in King City, way overpaid in North Ajax, way overpaid in Brampton.
Yeah.
Like they just the bidding war of 2021 when you took a house that in 2018 was $1 million and you it got bid up to 2 million. That's not workable. You can't fix that.
No.
And those prices come down.
Yes. Yeah.
Samantha's in a we're going to avoid saying it's the middle of nowhere, okay? But we're going to say it's in a rural community.
It is, yeah.
And you were telling me that the prices are still $1 million.
Yeah. They are.
Is that not fucked? I mean, like
it is, people from the city that can sell their $2 million home.
Yeah.
And come into the, where we are, and you're getting an actual, some grass and a backyard and still a nice house for $1 million, and you're pocketing that $1 million or whatever. It's, we're seeing a lot south move further north.
Right.
And they're landing where we are. It's a 50-minute commute to the cities, to the airport, to Brampton, to Mississauga. I mean, heck, in Tottenham, there was a gas station for sale, and the leading on their ad was 35-minute commute to Brampton.
Okay.
So,
all right. Look,
it's a commute. We're a commuting town. We've always been commuting areas. It's just now people are starting to, city life isn't for everybody, and they're realizing it. They're coming a little bit further north. We still have access to cities. It just takes us a little bit to get there, right?
But the reality is, like $1 million house, an hour and a half from the Scotia Centre in Toronto
For an hour and a bit,
That doesn't make any sense, right? Like, really?
I mean, listen, you got to have a car where we live,
yeah,
right?
of course.
Public transit is not a thing.
No, there's no thing. Yeah.
I mean, we have buses, but you don't use them. You got to have a car and you got to be willing to commute. So if you're willing to move and, save some money on house prices, if you compare the city to where we are, you're going to put that back in fuel, wear and tear on your vehicles, and your time.
Yeah. So, but the horror show really is for people under the age of 20.
Oh.
Because when you're talking about people, and maybe even really under the age of 30.
Right.
Because how do you do that? Like, how are you you're never going to get that increase that we got.
Never.
I'm old, but you're not old. You're like 29 or something.
Older than that.
Older than that? But yeah, you're
it's almost my birthday in 7 days.
Well, happy future birthday. But you bought a house young.
I did.
Okay?
I was 21 when I bought my house.
Sure. And that served you well.
It did.
But what 21-year-old can buy a house now?
Not many.
Unless their parents just.
And that's just it. If they're doing it, it's some big help from mom and dad.
Yeah.
Or grandma and grandpa.
So ultimately that's wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's wrong for particularly my generation, your baby boomers, to have so completely fucked people under the age of 30 in order for us to have $2 million houses, that the people under the age of 30, unless the baby boomer is lucky enough to do that, they're not going to own a home, right?
No, it's
because we're talking about Tottenham. Right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, but look, like $1 million house in Tottenham, like
it's wild.
Surely it should be 600, right? Really?
Yeah, like we never used to have house prices like this, but last few years, it's people want to live there. They want to live in our Simcoe County has grown a lot. A lot.
And yeah, it has grown a lot. And it will continue. Simcoe will actually continue to grow, although there's some places in Ontario may actually shrink now that we have changed the immigration rules.
Immigration, yeah.
Yeah, because like the people who move to Simcoe, which is north of Toronto for folks across Canada, it's quite a bit north of Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay, an hour and a half to the Scotia Centre. That's just people who are already here,
right?
Moving to that location. This is like in province movement.
Yes.
Okay. There's very few people who are brand new to Canada who are coming to that area.
Right.
But what happens is when there's just a natural progression because we don't build any houses, right?
No.
We don't.
No.
Simple as that. We don't build any
houses. We're not
houses
building. We're way behind on building. And we're going to continue to be way behind on building for what feels like ever.
Well, particularly next year, because you and I both know there's no new condo projects starting at all. Okay. And you don't really have any new subdivisions starting, do you?
Our town subdivisions they've been in the works for years. They're starting. They're not starting. Like,
they're not digging them, right?
Well, we have one that is started and the other that is finishing now, but that's about it in my small town.
But the reality is your area could boom if you got a little bit of highway, right?
100%.
Yeah, and there's room.
And we're not far from the highway from the 400. We're about 15 minutes.
Right, and you're abused by the Greenbelt rules.
Yes.
Ultimately, everybody in Ontario who would like to say, we need a satellite community here. We need to bring in infrastructure. We need to bring in a big pipe for sewer. We need to do all these things.
Water is huge in our
big issue, right?
It's the biggest issue. It's massive. It delayed builders. These builders sold these homes without letting the buyers know we have no water.
Exactly. So
and then one of our arenas fell apart, and the builder was like, "Oh, here's some cash to fix it." And look, guess what? Water magically appeared.
Water appeared. Here's the thing, folks. I mean, this is the really weird part about the way we run Ontario. It's like that kids. I don't know, you ever saw that kids book, Everybody Poops? Okay. So that's actually what the problem in a lot of we have so many infrastructure problems that we don't realize that. Yeah, we can get you some drinking water.
Right.
We can get drinking water to your subdivision. But we got no water treatment, so because everybody poops, we have to treat
need
that.
This.
We need wastewater treatment, okay, and that's going to cost $50 million,
right?
Okay? And we can't afford it,
right?
So it's all about crappy policy decisions in the end. Because you're quite right. I've even been in Queen's Park, where the ministers told me, "Yeah, we don't have water treatment in enough places in Ontario. If we wanted to expand, even if we did something with the Greenbelt, we don't have enough water treatment." So. you just got to call that poor planning, folks. That's all
Oh,
you
yeah.
can do. Very poor planning.
Welcome to Canada.
So something also important in the mortgage business happened yesterday. It was expected. On Monday, we have the new CMHC rules.
Yes.
So you know about them. Tell us about them.
I do. So first-time home buyers now have access to a 30-year amortization with minimum down payment requirements. So less than 20%. You can get a 30-year if you're a first-time home buyer, and that first-time home buyer is obviously somebody who's never owned a home, somebody who hasn't owned a home in 4 years or lived with a spouse or a partner who has owned a home, or marital breakdowns. I'm all for
They have
this.
the exception on marital breakdowns, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm all for this. We used to have 30-year amortizations back in the day. They took that away on insured mortgages.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
used to have it. And here's the crazy part. We used to have it, and they took it away, and then the price of houses doubled.
Yep.
So what the fuck? I mean, what is this? Now,
Yeah.
I know Samantha gets the comments too. We're going to get comments about, oh, you fucking mortgage people.
Yeah.
You fucking mortgage people.
You did this.
30-year amortization. People are going to pay $600,000 more in interest.
Yeah.
You dirty fucking mortgage
Yeah.
people. All right.
Yeah.
You want to own the house?
All right.
This is where we're at. Like, go and complain about the real root cause. Batshit crazy house prices. That is the root cause. Okay?
It's not our money we're lending out at this amount of interest.
No.
It's not my money that's going to my clients and I'm making an astronomical amount.
No,
I wish.
We do not make an astronomical
We do
amount.
not.
We're not realtors, folks. We're not real estate
And
agents. Okay.
at the end of the day, like you want to borrow money, you're paying for it.
Mhm.
This is not new news.
Yeah, and the other thing that, when I first started, because I'm really old, I am, hardly anybody paid down their mortgage. That's changed a lot in the last 10 years, right?
Mhm.
Like you see more clients who actually do make lump sum payments.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I do.
It's for a lot of clients of mine, I need prepayment privileges.
Yeah. And they never used to use them, and now they do. Like, they're not, like,
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
Not
at
everybody,
all.
but there is a group out there that, yes, they focus on
Paying
being
down their
mortgage. Mortgage is their debt. That is the debt that they focus on.
Yeah.
There's people out there that, I'm that person. I'm not paying down my mortgage any quicker than I need to. I can put that money elsewhere. But that's because
You got 3 little kids.
I got 3
too.
kids.
Jesus.
I also am the mindset of you only live once. I like to enjoy my life. So, a mortgage is a mortgage to me. I'll have it. It'll pay off one day and I'm going to enjoy my life while I can.
And but that is it's so different. When 30 years ago, I assure you that the people who actually made any sort of prepayment
Mm-hmm.
was under 3%. It's a lot
Yeah.
more than that today.
Yeah.
So our point about all this is you may start at 30 years.
You do not have to take 30 years.
Absolutely not. Okay?
And that is one of my biggest things with clients is I'll be doing a refinance for debt consolidation and I'll say this is a 30-year. And people almost you'll hear the dead silence of what? What? And I always say to them, listen, here's your payment. Can this payment be made? God forbid something happens to one of you. You lose a job, an illness, whatever. Somebody's got to drop down in income. And it's, yes, okay. Now what's your comfortable payment? This. Okay, we'll make this your payment.
Because
all that
you
extra,
can.
all because you can right now.
You can.
Money's there. You want to pay down your mortgage. God forbid something happens to one of you. You can cut down to that cheaper payment.
So people, this is what the practical side of the mortgage business is. The practical side of mortgage brokering is, and to that extent, the bank mortgage specialist as well. It's like, here's the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. And because Samantha and I have seen some things in our time, even though she started when she was
You're a few decades.
18. She started when she was doing this when she was 18, folks. She
No.
was doing it part-time when she was going to university, and then she got full-time into it. But Samantha's young. So the bottom line is this. You can make changes.
Yes.
So if you just set up the safest payment, the most manageable payment. Now, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, but people, they might not do it. Okay.
Well, then that's on you.
That's on them.
That's on you,
but,
right?
But at the end of the day, we have today something that didn't exist long ago. You couldn't make any prepayment long ago. You had to wait for the mortgage to renew.
Yeah.
But now you can. You
You
can
can.
do so many different ways.
So many options.
So many options to pay it down. So it's easy to pay it down, easy to pay more. You have some, relative passes, sadly.
Come into lump sum money.
Come into lump sum money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these companies are 20%, right?
Right.
So 20%.
That's standard now, 20%.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A lot of 20%. Well, we'll put in a.
There's
we'll kick RBC a little bit. Only
yeah,
10%.
10%.
But
and you can double up your payments, but
they're still
la-ti-da.
good. They're still good. RBC's still good. I got a lot of respect for RBC. But if a lot of people are 20%, 20% is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
You got a $600,000 mortgage, it's $120,000.
It's a lot of money every year of your mortgage.
You can pay the mortgage off in theory.
Exactly.
In theory, you pay the mortgage off. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, folks, this is really truthful, legitimate mortgage advice. If you set up a payment that's very attainable, you can pay more.
Absolutely.
And here's the difference from years ago. You can look at your fucking mortgage balance online. Every day.
Every
if
day.
You want to. Yeah. You look every day at your mortgage balance.
You can make an extra payment of $500 today, not the next week, the following week, $100. You can do whatever you want.
It's a
simple
world.
click of a button.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Okay, like seriously, it is. Okay, like it's not like it was 20 years ago when you had to go into a branch and say, "Can I pay any extra money? Come back in a week. We'll let you know." Okay, you can go online and pay extra whenever the fuck you please.
Yeah.
Okay, so for everybody who wants to fight the fight of 30-year amortization, please, let's be rational.
Yeah.
You can pay that thing off really quickly.
100%.
All right. So the other big news is
the insured price cap is raising from originally it's $1 million. So if you were buying $1 million house, you were minimum 20% down.
Yeah.
That is now increasing to the minute you hit $1.5 million in a purchase price, it'll be 20% down. So up to 1.499999.99, you can do a minimum down payment. Do I think, anybody's going to buy with a minimum down payment on a 1.49 house? You're carrying a pretty hefty friggin' mortgage payment plus a nice insurance premium.
Was it like $670,000 or something?
It's huge. It's
yeah.
huge. Yeah. And your monthly payments are like $7,500 a month, and that was on rates about a month ago when I was doing that math.
No, you've run these scenarios before.
Yeah.
On your program on TikTok and your other where else you are, and you also point out exactly the same thing I do. To do this 1.499 purchase with that, so it works out to just be about it's about 12% down, maybe.
Yeah, a little.
It's in that. It's 100. Yeah. Let's say it's 125 grand.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's 125 grand. Yep. It's about 8 and a bit percent down. Sorry, rewind. It's about 8% and change down. And it's 125,000 and. You have to have a family income of $350,000.
Over, yeah. And that's with no debt.
Oh, yeah. You better
that's
not have leases.
Don't have a car loan. Don't have a damn penny owing on a credit card. Yep. Depending on the lender you're going with, if you've got an unsecured line of credit, it's...
So you're, based on Stats Canada, that family is about 5.2% of all Canadians.
Right.
So we're talking about a very fucking small. Now,
yeah.
Are we going to see? You got a good insight into this. I think I know. We are going to see some 1.1.
100%.
We will.
100%. That's where I think that this is going to work. You've got the clients that are making decent money. They don't quite have 20% down, but they've got 10 or maybe 12, 15% down, and they want to buy for the 1.1.
Yep.
The 1.2. 100% go for it. Right? That to me is a little bit more realistic.
Okay, so that brings us back to our previous conversation about the variable rates coming down.
Yeah.
Is this house price stimulus? Is it?
Yeah.
We're just being honest.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
It's stimulative. Okay, it is definitely stimulative.
Government makes money off the houses.
So is that the right thing to do? This is one of the toughest questions in Canada. Because I know there's a whole camp of people who are saying, no, you're fucking crazy. We need prices to come down. You're not going to hear any argument from her.
I mean, it'd be great to come down. They're not.
Look, we went through...
You're not seeing a crash. It's not happening.
We went through a very rough patch. We went through 6% mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to this one. The default rate 90-day default rate amongst major banks went from, I think, 17%, 17 bips. Like 17 bips is a phenomenally tiny number in the mortgage world. Like it's less than 0.25% or 90-day delinquency. All the way soared up to 22 bips, which is still sweet FA.
Right.
Okay?
Compares to the U.S.
Yeah. So, by the way, the U.S. in their best days are 36 bips.
Yeah.
Okay. They run over 0.25% default. So, God damn it. I mean, we went through 6% rates and the world didn't come to an end.
Right.
I mean, come on. I mean,
Canadians are resilient when it comes to paying their mortgages.
like, look, they are very resilient. And let's face facts. Some people did get touched up.
100%.
Some people got beat up. If you bought in North Durham or North Ajax, or you bought in the Fraser Valley, you bought in Agassiz for $1.3 million or $1.4 million, fuck, you got problems. Okay. Like, or you're North Brampton, you paid $2 million for something in 2021 that was only 1.2 million.
It's the new builds that I saw a big hit on.
Wow. To this day. It keeps coming.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like an appraisal. I'm like, oh my God. And it comes in and I'm like, well,
it's a miracle.
Am I really like, yeah.
It's a miracle. And by the way, eventually none of the condo appraisers are going to come in, but that's next year. But folks, the world didn't come to an end. Like, we went through the fastest increase in interest rates in the history of the country.
Yeah,
okay?
It was wild.
Yeah, agreed. There was a time when interest rates went from 14 to 18, but nothing went from 0.25% to 5%. That's steep.
Quickly.
That fast.
Yeah.
And default rate?
Wasn't great, wasn't horrible. Could have been a heck of a lot worse.
Better than the United States on their best day.
Yeah.
Okay. But the default rate was like 3% in 2008 in the United States. So yeah, it was. Now everybody likes to say, well, it'll get bad again. Look.
Those are the same people saying interest rates were going to hit 19%.
Yeah, we're just trying to be realistic, Samantha and I. We're just trying to be realistic. Like, we watched as interest rates sort of went into the low 4s in October, November. Unit sales went up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we watched it. Next year, when we've got variable rates that are like 3.95 or 3.7, we'll see unit sales go up a bit.
Yep.
It could easily be tempered by a really bad economy. We don't know how bad the recession is going to get.
Yeah, it's kind of a waiting game for everybody.
That's the wild card, right?
That is the wild card. Yeah.
We don't know how bad unemployment is going to get. It's already bad in Ontario, 7.6.
It is.
Okay. Youth unemployment in Canada is horrible,
not
14%. We just don't. How bad is it going to get?
Yeah.
I think it could get worse. I think it probably will get worse.
I think it'll get worse.
How worse?
I don't know.
But here's the other compelling thing, folks. We're not building houses.
No.
We're not building in Ontario. The building in BC has fallen off a cliff too. They're still building in Alberta and Quebec, and that's about it.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad in Ontario. We're not building anything new. No matter how badly every branch of government wants to tell you there's going to be millions of new homes, okay? Like whether Christopher Freeland says there's going to be 3 million new homes, or Rob Ford says, yep, folks, there's going to be, we're going to build 1 million new homes here in Ontario. You just watch me. No, that's not happening, okay, at all. So, if supply of something is scarce, it's just economics, right? Even though none of these prices should be as high as they are.
No, it's insane.
Way too high. All right, so let's talk about now. I want to talk about, and if folks who don't want to tune in about this or don't want to know about this, you can leave the show now if you want. But there's a lot of people who watch the show who are in the mortgage business, in the real estate business, and the thing I want to talk about is social media in mortgage marketing.
Yep.
And I will say outright that I really don't think in the platform she started on, and we'll get to that in a second, the platform she sort of really got going on, which is TikTok, I really don't think anybody does as good a job as Samantha in the whole country. I'll get into detail on that in a second, but I think that's true. Just tell us a little bit about how you got started in it.
Like how it all started. Well, TikTok became a thing during the pandemic, and as you all heard earlier,
because you got kids.
I have kids. I have one, my oldest daughter. Everybody was dancing on TikTok, and it was all those trending things, and I was like, this is so stupid. Like, this app is absolutely ridiculous. And then my brokerage did a contest, and it was a social media thing, and I was like, you know what? I've never danced on it. If you go back I don't stand there and dance. I thought I'll just sit down and simply talk about mortgages and see where it goes. And it doesn't go right away.
Never does.
Never does. It was consistent, and it was a lot like, oh, do I continue doing this? Do I continue doing it? Yeah, I'll just keep going. And then one night, I'll never forget, I went to bed and I woke
There's a
TikTok.
posting on TikTok, yeah.
I went to bed. I had posted a video that day, and I went to bed, and I woke up in the morning, and my phone was like blowing up.
Wow.
All these followers, and I was like, oh my God.
What happened?
Yeah, like what? I was all excited, and my boyfriend was like, oh, here we fucking go. He hates it. Hates it. And I was like, look at this. He's like, I don't care. He's like, this is ridiculous. And to this day, he hates it. Hates it. And then from there, I had one video that took off, and then the next few, meh. And then another one would take off. And here I am.
So Samantha has how many followers?
I think I'm just under 70,000.
70,000 on TikTok. That for a specialty like mortgage, 70,000 is astronomical in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's huge. And I'll just break it down a little bit more. So Samantha does a lot more technical stuff than I do. Okay. Like sometimes I'll just do a rant about fucking traffic. Okay.
Politics.
TikTok, politics, whatever the case may be. Bad housing policy, whatever.
Yep.
I think about 90% or 95% of everything you do is mortgage.
I'm all mortgage pretty much. Yeah.
Fact-based.
Yep.
And like I've watched a bunch of Samantha stuff because you have to do that if you're in any business, right? If you don't look at your competitors, you're stupid.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that just is what it is.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people say, no, you should just do your own thing and don't pay attention to competitors. Yeah, fuck sure. That's the way. That's the way all the car companies think, right? Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
the banks.
Tesla can do whatever the fuck they want. We're just gonna stick with these fucking gasoline engines. We don't give a shit because we want to do our own thing. No, and for all you folks out there in real estate and in the mortgage business, who are marketing mortgages or marketing real estate, and you want to say, well, I'll just do my own thing and don't pay attention to anybody else. That's fucking stupid. Okay, like go out and look at what successful people are doing.
100%.
And
that's one of the easiest ways to get your content ideas.
Exactly. So, I'm going to talk about this one. And this, again, I'm going a little deep for the mortgage side, but mortgage brokers, imagine that you could get 174,000 views. What was we talking about last week? Got huge views. It was a technical thing.
Oh.
There was the payment differences, right?
That could be that, yeah.
It was penalty and payment, right? It was penalty and payment. And thinking about if you have a very high rate, now that rates are down, should you make the switch? So I'll tell you, like 174,000 views on stuff like that is just fucking not like, it's fucking crazy high. Okay. Like that is nuts in the social media business. And the way Samantha presents it is interesting. It's for everybody.
Yes.
It's not technical. You don't use a lot of jargon.
No.
You hardly use any jargon at all.
Very simple.
And you're just speaking to people about what the use of it could be for them. Like, how could this help you?
Right.
With your mortgage.
It's relatable. It's being relatable is one of my number one things when it comes to telling anybody about social media.
So you're telling a story in your own way. Okay. And look, for everybody, like there's a lot of people out there who are thinking, if these guys can be successful in social media, maybe I can be. I'm going to tell you something for all you people. Samantha also has talent. Samantha has legitimate talent at it. I mean, she is interesting, informative, and projects a positive attitude about the whole thing. And if you think that's easy to do, you would be fucking wrong.
Sometimes I'm a little dramatic, right, Ron?
Not always, but sometimes it gets a little drama seeps in sometimes. Okay. But look, it's consistency too.
Yes.
How much do you put out a week? How many units do you put out a week?
Minimum about 3.
Might skew to 5 some weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on the week.
Yeah. And that's a lot.
It is.
Okay, it's a lot. They're well lit. They're well produced. Samantha looks good. By the way, when I say Samantha looks good, what I'm talking about is that she's presentable.
Yes.
Okay. Like a lot of people, like you and I were talking about it. Some people seem to think it's a good idea to go on social media and not comb your hair.
Yeah, or look like you showered for the last 2 weeks. Or tell people you haven't showered.
And tell people how, your kids screaming in the background, okay? Like let's just be rationally professional about it, look presentable, and come across like we've got something to say that you would like to pay attention to us, okay? You don't have, Samantha gave me shit about I did a shirt and a tie video once. about how
And called out brokers wearing hoodies. And my outfit choice, I was like, oh, thanks, Ron. I almost showed up in hoodies, a hoodie and leggings today. And I was like, do I do it?
You have nice hoodies.
I do have nice hoodies. They are very nice hoodies.
Very nice hoodies.
But yes, I am a much, I go for more of the relaxed look. That's because we sit in chairs all day and I want nothing to do with buttoned up pants.
And she's also a fuck of a lot younger than me. There's that. Okay.
But no, I make sure my hair is brushed and I still look somewhat presentable.
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Just look like you're there to do business.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're talking about a serious subject and you want people to learn and be very relatable. So it is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you are doomed who want to try social media. You're just no fucking good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I hate to say
And it's the truth. Not everybody is going to excel at it.
No.
Should you all try it? Go for it.
Yes, you should. After you study the shit out of what successful people do. Okay. Do that and at least have good production values, which you have.
Yep.
Okay. And have a good, have a consistency and have an approach that is giving people useful information. And let me tell you the final thing that's the most important, I believe, about social media is tell the fucking truth.
Yes.
Okay. Samantha tells the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About, this is how it really works. Not everybody's perfect. Things can go wrong. Let me explain to you. Because I'm listening to these fuckers who are talking about cash damming and how you can all own 12 fucking rental properties. These fucking TikTok fucking lying fucking realtor fuckers and lying fucking mortgage fuckers who are saying, yes, we can do cash damming. I can show you how to pay your mortgage off tax free. We can use the Smith maneuver. By the way, the other name of the Smith maneuver in the real world is the shit maneuver. Okay. That's the other name of that fucking thing. Okay. So, and by the way, if the Smith maneuver people want to sue me, sue me. I was around when the dad was doing it because I'm old and I remember what the fuck happened when the dad, what happened to the dad's old system. Okay. So yeah, if you want to, because that's the other way you can go on social media. You can go all lie all the time. Okay. That's the truth. Right?
Yeah.
And that ain't good.
No.
Because, like every realtor who said, rates are down. If you don't buy today, you're fucked. You'll never get a house again. I mean, come on. Jesus, don't do that shit.
Our own prime minister's lying on social media saying rates have dropped to 3.25. Canadians go buy the house.
Yeah, you can. There's no human. There's no non-bank can get 3.25. You got to be a bank to get 3.25 for the love of Jesus. Okay? So yeah, I mean, there's all that.
Yes.
But that's the best thing. The best thing for longevity and real success, and to make a business out of social media in terms of why clients would like to deal with you.
Yep.
Is tell the truth.
Yes.
And give good information. Okay. Not, do you want to own 12 rental properties? Because I can do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like,
no, the average Canadian's not owning 12 rental properties.
Not anymore.
And in Ontario, you don't want to own 12 rental properties.
Yeah,
that's a nightmare.
Especially not 12 pre-construction condos. Yeah. Okay, don't own those 4 and 6 condos or bought them and waiting for them to complete.
Yeah,
that will not be a good thing. All right, that's for damn sure. But yeah, but your point is great. Get into social media, try it.
100%.
If you fail miserably, try again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail miserably for the 3rd time, fucking quit.
I mean, and you look at our industry. There's people out there who have never picked up anything to do with social media, and they are thriving and they're top producers.
100%.
You do not need to be on social media to be successful. Not at all.
But those people who are very successful without social media are doing a lot of other things.
Other things, yes. You don't just sit there and wait for business to fall in your lap, because that's simply not going to happen.
They're investing a ton of time in
elsewhere.
Stuff that does work. Okay.
Yep.
But it's not like, look, there's not going to be any more yellow page ads.
No.
We just had 10,000 people say, what's a yellow page? What the fuck is a yellow page? Okay. What are these fuckers talking about now?
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any more newspaper ads. Again, there were about 10,000 people saying newspaper.
Yeah.
What?
We still have a newspaper in our town. People still advertise in it.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't even look at it.
Not successfully.
No,
okay. Not successfully. So there's a lot of advertising systems.
There is.
That will not go into the future.
Yep.
But social media will.
Social media will. It's going to continue to grow and change, and new things are going to come up, and yeah.
Because old media is dying. It's as simple as that. Like, don't get me, I love old media. I'm an old man, so I love old media. I still get these things called newspapers. Again, more people scratching their head. Delivered to my house.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I watch news on television,
Yeah.
not streaming.
My parents do that.
Television. Yeah, we watch
Breakfast television every morning.
No, not that.
Oh, no.
No, not that. I won't do that. But the future is news from social media. Because guess what? X is first. Like I know some people don't like X, but if you want an actual breaking news, like
they have it. Yeah.
They have it. Like X had the Bank of Canada rate drop at 9:45 plus 1 second when, news agencies couldn't get around to it till like 10:15.
Yeah.
Or like, so if you want breaking news, social media, it's a fact. Where does this go like X?
And every generation is on social media.
Yes. Well,
a lot. I mean, there's a lot. You're on social media.
I'm a freak.
No, you're not. People are like, Sam, you must only be getting first-time home buyers on TikTok. I'm like, I get seniors on TikTok. I get people my parents' age on TikTok. I get people my age and younger.
Yeah, we're not all dancing. Not everybody on TikTok's dancing.
No,
that's for sure.
No.
And by the way, there are also one thing about TikTok. There's some really good fucking recipes on TikTok.
There is really good recipes.
If you like to eat, like obviously I like to eat. Okay, there are some really, really good fucking recipes on TikTok. So that's for sure. But yeah, it is for everybody, and certainly, like we're not on WhatsApp. I mean, that might be the next thing. I don't know. I don't even know. How does it work? Do you know
WhatsApp?
How it works?
I have WhatsApp. It's like group chats.
It's group chats. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if you had a big enough group, I mean, who knows? But Jesus, it's the future.
It is.
Right. It's the future. And a lot of people say, well, I wish it wasn't, because there are some bad things.
100%.
100%.
I think there's a lot of children out there that think all they have to do is get onto social media and be influencers, and that's their career.
Yeah, to hell with education.
Right, exactly. All I got to do is jump on my cell phone.
Better makeup.
And fucking open toy boxes. And kids are making a killing out of it. And it's like, what are we teaching our kids? All you got to do is open things on camera and
it's odd.
I think for younger generations, it's not great because it's teaching them that you don't really need a job, because look at all these influencers getting all this free shit mailed to their house 24/7.
You're going to need a job.
You're 100% going to need a job.
You need a job, yeah, for sure. So, but again, the things that I think and Samantha does so well is tell the truth.
Yep.
Be topical, but be topical about the mortgage business in a way that people can use.
Yep.
In language everyone can understand.
Yeah.
And be open, because you do lives too, right?
I do. Yeah.
The one thing that I would say,
don't be a creep.
Don't be a creep. So, like, I mean, here's something that doesn't happen to me. Don't get me wrong. Everybody in social media gets criticism. You get somebody who comes on and say, "You're so fucking stupid. You fucking fat, stupid fuck." Okay?
Or you get paid way too much to push buttons on a keyboard. Yeah, I got that yesterday.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, you fucking mortgage brokers. You're just like parasites.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, women on social media get creeps.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to get creeps. Like, there's nobody ever asks me whether I'm going to change my hair color, okay?
Or if you'll marry them.
Or whether, or
go
like,
out for a date.
Can we just have coffee?
Yeah.
I mean, just like, okay, so men, it's a heartfelt plea. Stop fucking doing that. Stop fucking doing that with women on social media. Fucking stop it. They know you're a fucking creep, so stop it. I'm looking at you. Stop it. Stop fucking doing that on social media. Leave women alone, okay? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Stop, okay? I mean, you can continue to call us stupid, because that's like equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted to say that, you're a fat babbling turd, you don't know anything. All right, I'm okay with that. You will get blocked. but don't do the creepy shit, because it's fucking creepy. Yes. Samantha, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed having her. She's great on social media, like I said. She's terrific. Okay, folks, next week.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.